Servite High School, home of the Friars. They've got a nice-looking artificial turf surface here for their practices and their lower-level games. Coach Troy Thomas getting the fellas ready for a big game this coming Friday against La Habra High School. Little private school versus public school stuff, and that's always a lot of fun. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to OCVarsity.com for our look at the Gridiron activity that's going on and the Gridiron Show. I'm Steve Fryer with Carlos Arias and Dan Albano. We're at Servite High School. The Friars lunch crew's down there getting ready to cheer on the team. Team's right now in meetings, getting ready to play La Habra Friday at Cerritos College. It should be a dynamite game. Got to admire La Habra for stepping up their schedule, playing 3 Trinity League teams in a row. Talking about the game and who's going to win this game, gosh, fellas, I think Servite is just so darn complete right now. I think they're hotter than blazes. Played great against Oceanside, played better against Bishop Almont last week, and now they take on La Habra. Carlos, what do you think? Easy game for Servite, or is La Habra going to maybe bring something and even surprise them?
Okay, nothing is easy when you play La Habra.
Right.
Servite's favored. They're bad news. I saw them beat up on Oceanside, so I got to pick them, but don't ever count out the Highlanders. They're the Southwest Division champs, 3-time Southwest Division champs, and they always got something to prove. They're always, trying to say, hey, we're the little guy taking on the big guy. So that's always a fun matchup.
And they're in that we've got nothing to lose sort of mentality too, whereas, maybe there's not much pressure on them. Dan, what do you think? La Habra maybe plays it loose and comes out and surprises them? Maybe a little trick play here or there to kind of loosen it up?
Well, I think the biggest matchup for La Habra is the La Habra offense against Servite defense. And I think, what La Habra, I've seen from La Habra, on the Tough Knocks show, the highlights I've been able to see is that La Habra can put the ball in the hands of Brett Bartoloni. He's a fast kid. He's a great athlete. He can make plays. They also could maybe feature more of Aaron Porter in the running back. The UCLA commit great linebacker. So I think that's where they got to go, because right now we know they have the question marks at quarterback. We don't know about Clark Livingston. They've already had an injury at quarterback. So it's a tough matchup for La Habra, when they're facing a team like Servite that already has one of the best quarterbacks around in Cody Pittman.
And speaking of the Friars, we caught up with some folks involved with Servite football, Coach Thomas and a couple of the players.
Well, I think they're a very physical program. Obviously, Coach Mazzota knows what he's doing, so they, scheme-wise, do a lot of great things. I think their fronts are very physical and play very hard.
La Habra, they got some big old linemen, but, we got speed on our side and strength, so their size may prove a factor, but our strength and speed will help us during the game.
We know that La Habra is going to come, ready to play. They have a little chip on their shoulder from, what happened last year. So, we know they're going to come ready to battle.
So we've got a couple of pretty good games on the schedule, fellas. We've got Costa Canyon, really good San Diego County team, playing San Clemente. And that should be a pretty interesting game. San Clemente's 2-0. La Costa Canyon, again, one of the better teams out of the San Diego section. Dan, you know a little about La Costa Canyon. What are the things that San Clemente's going to have to do to get another W?
Well, it's kind of interesting. The biggest thing right now with San Clemente is their offensive line is playing so well with their left tackle, Mr. Murphy, the right tackle, Harlow's really a junior on the rise. La Costa Canyon's got a left tackle, Eric Magnuson, who's committed to Michigan. So he's excellent. So that will be a big test, I think, for San Clemente. San Clemente's really putting the ball on the ground right now, so the line play could be big in this game for the Tritons.
Carlos, you're going to be at this game. What's your forecast of this one?
Well, I'm really excited to see Travis Wilson play. I haven't seen him this year, but the big surprise has been the running game at San Clemente. They've just been pounding the ball. 400 rushing yards against Fountain Valley last week, and so we haven't even seen Travis Wilson get loose yet. What's going to happen when that happens?
Also, another good game on the schedule is Centennial of Corona coming into Orange County to play Mater Dei. Centennial lost a really close one to St. Bonaventure last week. But, gosh, Centennial's still in the state top 10. Mater Dei is 0-1. They're coming off a bye week after losing to Carson, a very fast Carson team that made Mater Dei look a little bit on the slow side. And Centennial's got that same kind of speed, fellas. I think Centennial's too gosh darn deep. I'm picking Centennial. What do you think, Danny?
Last year, I was at this game out in Centennial. Huskies 44, Monarchs 13. It was a really ugly loss for Mater Dei. One of their, at one point it looked really bad, like it was going to maybe be like an all-time loss. And the thing is, Centennial runs this option, the spread offense, pretty unique. I like this Mater Dei team. I just don't know if they're ready quite yet, but I'll pick the Monarchs to win. I think they played better against Carson than maybe some people think.
All right, we'll see how that goes. Danny went with the home team.
Picking the Monarchs? I mean, come on, man. And especially here at Servite, Mater Dei is like a 4-letter word to these people. I mean, what are you doing, dude?
You don't wear red around Servite High School, man.
Oh, my God. No, but there's no way Mater Dei is winning this game. 0-2, and people on OCVarsity are going to be freaking out about how they're still in the top 10. That's all I can say.
So we'll see how it goes, guys. So anyway, so that's what's going on this week in football. We got some great games on tap with Costa Canyon, San Clemente. Carlos is going to be there on Friday night. Dan and I are going to be hanging out at Cerritos College, watching Servite play La Habra. And then Centennial of Corona comes into town to take on Mater Dei. Big games all over the schedule. He's also got, Brea Sonora going on, all kinds of fun games. And it should be a fun week of football once again here, week 2 of the football season. I'm Steve Fryer here again with Carlos Arias and Dan Albano at Servite High School for OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.